Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, welcome to the No Spend January. All right, if you're new here, hi, I'm Claire. Welcome, come on in, make yourselves comfortable. If you're not new here, thanks for coming back. And you know how much I love to budget, I love a good deal, and I love to live frugally. So I thought I would just share with you guys a tradition we have in our family. Every year, we treat January as a no spend month. Now, of course, you could do this for any month of the year. It doesn't have to be January. And you also don't have to start on the first of the month. You can start whenever you want. But I do think it's a really good idea to challenge yourself to go that 30 days with really limiting what you are spending. And January is the perfect month for us to do that because the holidays are just a very indulgent time in literally all the ways. So January is a really good time to recover from some of that. So I thought I would just lay out what we do for January, give you some tips, let you know how we sort of make it through in case that this is something you want to try. And I think you should because you'll save a ton of money, and what better way to start out the year than doing that. So our first tip or thing that we sort of do is we eat all of the food that we already have. Now, no matter who you are, there is something in your freezer that you need to eat. For us right now, we have a stack of like frozen entrees that we got when Gianni was going to work at his old job, but he has a different job now and we just have all those in the freezer. So we have to eat those. So there's your lunch this week, Gianni. We also have a stockpile of some non-perishables and some flour and things like that in our basement. Now is a really good time to go through and look at all of your expiration dates and eat up all that food. Not only is this good for your grocery bill this month, but you're gonna waste less food, which is always good. And of course, you won't be piling up that food, which takes up precious real estate in your kitchen, your pantry, your basement, your freezer, whatever it may be. So before you really go grocery shopping, eat all the food that you have. And you might be having beans and rice for a couple of days, but do it. Eat those beans. Get rid of those beans that have been sitting in your pantry the whole year. Of course, you're gonna have to still go grocery shopping. We have kids, we have to buy milk, we have to buy peanut butter, all those types of things. But you'll find that your grocery bill will be very, very small if you just deal with what you have in your pantry and eat it. And speaking of the grocery bill, I do want to mention that all the bills that we have this month are just our bare bones bills. So I'm talking mortgage, car insurance, utilities, and the phone bill. Those are all the bills that we have. That's it. That's what we pay. We don't have any debt, so we don't have to deal with that. But if you do, obviously, you're going to have to make minimum payments on your credit cards or whatever if you've got that going. One thing that we are not pausing this year is our Netflix and our Disney and Hulu, but you could take a break from that for the month. This would be a great time to get out that stack of DVDs or Blu-rays that I'm sure everybody has and try watching those for the month. Or pick one, like either Netflix or Hulu, pause the other, and watch everything that's been sitting on your watch list or watch later. Watch it, get it out of the playlist. It's not only good for the organization of the new year, but there's probably a lot of stuff on there that you like, oh, I'll watch that when I have the time. Do it this January and focus on one of your accounts. We decided to keep those this year because we are in the midst of a global pandemic and there's also a foot of snow outside. So I just thought it was worth the extra $12 this month to have all of the entertainment possible. But if you really wanted a really good challenge for a no spend month, get rid of all that, play a board game, I don't know. And in that sort of same vein of the subscriptions that you have for your entertainment, pause all your subscription boxes as well, unless you received one as a Christmas present, of course. Most of the subscription boxes for like the beauty boxes, or if you do a food box, or if you do, like there's a box for everything nowadays. Usually you have the option to skip a box. If you do Stitch Fix, which is like the clothing one, you can usually skip one box. They have like an option online where you can do that, and then you can just resume it in February. And especially if you're a person who really likes to collect those little subscription boxes, that can save you a ton of money this month by just going without that for just this month. Like, you can probably just skip one box. The next thing we do, which I know is a lot to ask of some people, but we are fine with it, is we bump our thermostat down. Now, this depends on where you live and the type of heating you have in your house. As I mentioned before, we have a foot of snow outside right now. We are in Michigan, but there's no reason to keep our house at 75 degrees. I find that to be very uncomfortable at this point now. We keep our house, if we're up and we're moving around, we keep it at 65 degrees. If I'm cleaning, if I'm, doing stuff, that is the perfect temperature for us. And when we go to sleep, we turn it up to 69. In January especially, however, we always try to just turn it down that one extra degree if we can, just because all the pennies and cents will definitely add up, and that bill will just be a couple dollars less. And we enjoy the challenge of it. So if you like that, think about lowering your energy bill. Another thing we do to make that energy bill a little bit lower is we try to utilize our crock pot. A lot of these tips kind of go hand in hand with each other, because if you've got some weird frozen meat that you got to get rid of in your freezer, just put it in your crock pot with a bunch of other random freezer items, and then you have a meal that you didn't have to shop for. You got some space back in your freezer, and you saved energy because a crock pot uses way less energy than your traditional oven. So maybe think about slow cooking some things too this month. We also use sort of a trade style model if we do decide we need to acquire something for some reason. And that is, if you're gonna bring something in, you have to find the means to pay for it that are not our regular sources of income. So an example of this is we wanna buy a new game for our Switch. We got a Nintendo Switch for Christmas, and there's a game on sale, and everyone wants to play it. We really, really want it. It's $20. We need to find something in the house to sell for $20 before we can buy it. And we try to make that rule kind of often, but mostly in January. We're really strict on that we do not spend any extra money unless we can make it up somewhere else and it's not coming from our regular paychecks or what we would regularly make. And with that being said, that whole idea, maybe we could skip the game and then have $20 extra. Use this time to declutter and sell some things on the Facebook Marketplace. I always have something for sale on the Marketplace that I'm finding that I don't want. And if that's not your vibe, you can always just donate things as well. Use this time to declutter, find the things that spark the joy for you. You'll be surprised at how many things that you can get rid of for a couple dollars here and there. And even though we're in a pandemic, I found that shopping on the Marketplace has been very easy. Because it's contactless, most people will just do a porch pickup. So the thing that you thought nobody would ever want, throw it on the Marketplace for a couple dollars. And I'm telling you, a couple dollars is a couple dollars more than you had before you sold that thing. And you made more space in your house by getting rid of it. So I see it as a win-win. My next thing for you guys is to really try to find activities and things to do that are free. Now, in a time where we could go places freely, this would be easier. In years past, we would do things like go to the zoo, go to the children's museum, things like that that are free. The library we utilize a lot. But right now we're not going anywhere or doing anything. So the free things that I'm going to suggest for you are using creative things that are already in your home for entertainment that don't cost anything. So I want you to raid your craft closet. I know that if you have kids, there's no way you don't have that random drawer or cupboard that's full of coloring books and broken crayons and pipe cleaners and beads and all that stuff. You'd be surprised at the creativity of the little ones when you just get out all the stuff. They will find a thing to make with it. So utilize the things that you already have. If you need to, go on Pinterest, but don't pick some project where you need to go buy more materials. Just do a thing with what you got. And we utilize board games and decks of cards like crazy, but of course, only if you already have them. We're also doing things with our kids like having dance parties, playing hide and seek, going on scavenger hunts, that sort of thing. Also, because we got all this snow last night, I'm pretty sure that we're gonna throw the snow pants on and get out there in it today. Not my favorite activity as a mom, I will admit that. but I will do it because it's free and because the kids will love it. So there you go. And my very last tip for you guys, which is one that I truly believe in and one that I think you should carry throughout your whole life and not just the month of January, and that is really look at the things you have in your life, your things, but also the things you cannot touch, and practice gratitude. Be grateful. I think that we have sort of a tendency to acquire stuff to fill the great void in our souls or whatever, but if you really stop and look at it, you probably have all you need. And I know obviously not everybody does, and I don't mean to be like, just be happy with having nothing and struggling. I don't mean that. I just mean everyone can find a bit of happiness, at least, in the things that they already have. And the more that you can appreciate that and the more that you can be happy without acquiring new things, the easier it's going to be to say no to buying clothes all the time and new shoes and new stuff. So that's something that I really try and focus hard on doing. And it's really helped me. And it's also, I think, a good way to raise your children as well, to take care of the things that they already own, so they don't need to be replaced or they don't break and things like that. So I hope you enjoyed all of these little sort of tips and habits and ideas for a no spend month. Leave me a comment down below. Do you do a no spend month? Do you do a no spend year? There are people that just always live this way, and I think it's amazing. I would do it if I was just like a single person, but I don't think my husband would be like quite on board with doing it as like our whole lifestyle all the time. But I am down for it. So let me know in the comments down below what you kind of do to recover in January. Do you have any financial resolutions for the new year? I would love to hear what you guys are doing. And yeah, make really excellent financial choices this month. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.